This is a Hondo project. We're going to be featuring this project during the seminar series because we were fortunate that it won a national award. Thank you very much, U.S. Hemp Building Association. It's got a lot of great things in it, and excited to be able to show this house off. That was the north side. Let me go back here. This is the north side of the building. We believe at Texas Healthy Homes that smaller windows and more usable outside space is really the direction that we need to go with design. We create better energy efficiency, and we actually get people a connection to the outdoor environment by giving them outdoor usable living space. This is the south side. We try to incorporate a passive solar design as much as possible into this building. The porch on the back south side makes it hard to do that over the whole building. But the breezeway is also a historic hill country kind of building vernacular, so that you actually end up creating what's called a carburetor effect. And when it's 105 degrees on the south side and the wind hits that overhang and goes through that breezeway, it's 82, 85 degrees coming out the backside of it. It's quite amazing. One thing that we find with all of our natural buildings is that the more you open windows during the day, the better off it performs. This is a picture of a wainscot to protect that bottom part of the lime plaster on the outside in type of year design, because there's chairs out there and everything's going to be hitting up against it. A lot of these older houses have that same sort of detail, architectural design detail throughout hallways. The kitchens always had that. So we try to incorporate that historic purpose into our natural buildings. That's a lime plastered wall over top of a hempcrete wall on the outside before it receives a color finish coat. There's 5 coats of white lime wash on that brown coat plaster, and it is, that finish exterior plaster. And that plaster's thickness is approaching 1 inch in thickness. And Will Stanwyck and other lime professionals I'm getting connected with that also have experience in hempcrete, that once you get that lime plaster towards 1 inch thickness, then you also are creating a very good vapor barrier for liquid water, but at the same time still keeping your vapor permeability, and lime takes on self-healing properties at that thickness. But first you got to get there. On this project in Hill Country, Texas, we're blessed with being able to build on limestone rock, where this project and our last one that we just wrapped up is. We do a grade beam on top of a compacted base, put all our rough and electric, and then we bring more base material and plate compacted in until we get a compacted base. Again, you can see this brace framing that's incorporated into the system. These are 2x4s and 2x6s at the windows. There's a post deck of 5 2x4s at the corners, and this is all sitting on top of 2 LVLs that are 1 7/8 by 11 7/8 inch wide, 2 of them staggered and nailed together. So, and our bracing, our brace framing is done with 2x6s. And this is all just conventional building materials that you can buy, at the hardware store. Here's us bracing our interior walls and some of our framing. In this building here, this is actually a straw bale building that we built in Colorado. And you can see over here some of the metal Simpson bracing that we used on that one. Back to the Hondo project. This is a slip form system that we use. All those walls are 12 inches thick. We do a slip form that we move up on the inside and outside at the same time. It allows us access to both sides. Through the breezeway, you can see Mud Daddy, our mix and go mixer that mixes 16 cubic feet of material at a time. And so the direction that you end up going at this point is production. Here's a little bit more of our framing. This wall here and the other wall is a guest bathroom, which is the next slide. And with our framing system that we do around the weight bearing on the outside, we do a framing system on the inside with 2x10s and 2x4s. And we kind of put hempcrete in between it. You can see down the exterior wall here, around the exterior, and then coming down the interior wall that we're going to do that's 10 inches thick. There's actually an interior channel framing with 2x4s that we attach our forms to, but that hempcrete material comes from the interior wall to the exterior wall and is compacted in at the same time in this slip form system that we used. You can see the bracing again there. This is the inside of that guest bathroom when it was all done. And so this wall here and this wall here, they're roughly 16 feet long from exterior wall to exterior wall. And they don't have a single 2x4 in them at all, none. And then we like to use wood tongue groove ceiling so we can get rid of the drywall for our ceiling, and we end up plastering our walls. And this has got an adobe floor in this bathroom. And so we get rid of a lot of conventional materials. It's awesome. I'm going to talk more about this in the professional class, but this is how we get our wood framing that we do. This is an angled cut on this little piece of 2x4 and the plywood there. It's attached to a 2x6, and the interior framing of that window is a 2x4. And you end up with this type of rolled window in your cast in place system, which means you don't have to come back and cut it out. This has got a coat of lime plaster and a coat of American clay finish plaster. And that is all we did to this wall. It's quite amazing. Getting down to efficiency, you need to have a good mixing station and a good dumping station. And we take all our hempcrete down to totes and then right onto the scaffolding, so the hempcrete never goes to the ground. We do a modified little window framing above and below to deal with our framing forms detail that we do. This is another interior hempcrete wall between a bathroom and a closet. And this 2x4 is at 8 feet, so we can attach our form over on the door side and attach it there and then do a little form on the end. We do a rigid backer on all of our forms with a 2x4 that locks the one on top in and then also gives it structural rigidity on the horizontal plane. So blowouts really aren't a problem. Again, it needs crew. You need some place to put them and entertain them. This is our current project. We just finished up and going back to the timber framing aspect. This is a dodecagon with a reciprocating roof timber frame, 36-foot diameter building. It was hempcrete and then windows and hempcrete on the top. This is what we went to on that project to try to make a better community space. And this is one of my favorite photos down on the Hondo project with that crew. We had an earth shipper and they wanted to do some tires and or some bottles in some hempcrete. And so we made this as a deflector. This is after 3 days of a raging fire on this thing. And you can see in the middle here, we're melting glass. It took us 2 weeks to burn through this wall, and it still had kept its shape and never fell in. And we didn't get any temperature change on the backside until we were under 2 inches thick of hempcrete. So it's quite impressive on a R value level. And then this is our last photo we're trying to show all the time because this is what it's really about, y'all. You know, this is why we do all this. This particular photo's got hempcrete walls throughout the house so we can get rid of the drywall. It's got clay plasters so we can get rid of the paint. It's got an adobe floor. The limestone slab that the wood stove is sitting on is from 30 miles down the road. And it's that next generation. And adobe floors are just beautiful when you can use them. If you can't in a second floor crawl space, use hempwood. It's great. So